The government wouldn't lie to us. Oh God, are you a flat earther?
Yep.
What's up, good people? It's August 11th, 7:30. August 11, 2019. Here's your moon. I'm just gonna go like that. And there's your sun. Now I'm gonna take a screenshot of the Flat Earth app, and you can see exactly at this time exactly how this is positioned. I'm not even turning my whole body. I just turn my body half of a circle.
Go ahead. Talk about how accurate it isn't. Go ahead with the name calling. Go ahead. Feel free to add.
You're an idiot. Your God is a joke. You pray to an illusion. The earth was created by the Big Bang. Stay off the drugs, you idiot.
You flat turn nigger, you.
God is not real.
What's up, good people? How you doing? It's Jay. Stay Flat Media 7. Often when I do videos, sometimes I miscalculate measurements and distances, and I find that I was wrong. Later on, and with these globe robots, before they can either try to correct me on anything with the measurements, they are automatically on a defensive with, no, it is not what I see. Instead of saying it's impossible because planes don't fly at 9 or 11 miles up. Their cruising altitude is much lower. But I spoke about the highest a plane can go is from 9 to 11 miles, which is true. The Concorde flew at, between 9 and 11 miles, but it flew faster. But that plane has been out of commission for years now, and no plane has reached that height at cruising altitudes, due to, multiple things, saving fuel in case of emergency. But my point is that no one has corrected me on these things. They just went straight for the defensive side. The space is real and you're stupid, you're an idiot. Stay off the drugs. God is not real. Our earth came from a explosion from nothing. Like a firecracker built itself up and then blew up. Even when I did the water test at Liberty State Park, when I didn't do the measurements the first time, I gave the measurements 10 to 15 feet. And I even said at 30 feet, that lighthouse that was near Sandy Hook, about 15 miles away, should still be under 26 feet of curvature. Then when I went back to do the measurements, it was even lower. So I gave extra feet just by word of mouth, but it was actually lower than what I gave. And like with the flying of the planes, about the curvature, and nothing. They fly even lower than 9 miles up. So when you're looking up at the highest plane you can see, it's about 6 to 7 miles up. It's not far. So in the beginning, it's kind of proofless facts that I say these wrong numbers. But then in the end, you sit back and look at it and go, Wow, so not only did he go overboard with the numbers, but we still can't see what we're supposed to see when Jay went higher with the numbers. Just try to sit back and go, that's weird. So he messed up by accident, but we still can't see any curvature or anything. We still see objects or buildings or landmarks. And Jay went higher with the numbers than it is placed on the World Wide Web. You type in something, it shows up where it's at, the accuracy. But Jay went higher, and it's still wrong according to a Globe Earth. So, wow.
So, you like to fly? Well, the average cruising altitude of a commercial airplane is between 31,000 and 38,000 feet. At this altitude, the air becomes thinner. As a result, aircraft can travel more easily and, even more importantly, burn less fuel. So, can't modern planes rise even higher than that? Or even fly to space? The answer is a firm nope.
Now this is how 7 miles look horizontally. Now try to focus your vision or imagination up vertically, and this is the distance from you on the ground up to a plane flying at its highest altitude. Just picture the starting point, you on the ground, and the lighthouse is the plane, and you're looking up. So it's lower than what I previously mentioned, 9 miles to 11 miles. It's only 7 miles up.
Watching the big game today? You might be interested to know that the International Space Station is about the size of a football field. The station, including its large solar arrays, spans nearly the area of the entire field and weighs almost 1 million pounds. The orbiting complex has more livable room than a conventional 6-bedroom house, has 2 bathrooms, a gymnasium, and a 360-degree bay window for stargazing. And in case you were wondering, yes, astronauts do watch the big game in space.
Time out, sweetheart. So, I mentioned all of that about 7 miles up. And as you saw with that video with the plane, when the guy zoomed in on the plane and zoomed back out, you could hardly see the plane flying. So you mean to tell me at 7 miles up, you could barely see the airplane? Give it 8 miles. But like I said, it's not going to go no higher than really 6 miles to 7 miles. If you give it 8 to 9 miles, then you have some issues. Now, again, this is not all planes, but some planes still do go up, but not all. When you constantly looking up, you're seeing airplanes, commercial airliners. You can hardly see them until you focus in on them. That's 7 miles tops. So you mean to tell me at 250 miles you're able to see the International Swim Station, and it's the size of a football field, and they're only using the backdrop of the moon and the sun, which we have established by now are local and is closer than we have been told. Okay, the P900 cannot zoom in as closely to the moon and sun like it does at that distance. Okay, these things are not that big. You look at a picture, you go to a CGI picture of Earth and the moon is not that big. Okay, in all these pictures. Alright? And the sun is not that color when we zoom in on it. And it's not volcanic lava looking, pulsating. You know, some people say, oh, well, you know, these are like really big cameras that could really get closer in on the sun so we could see these sun flares and all that stuff. No, the hell you can't. The sun is not doing all that. I don't know where you get this cartoon imagination from, and you're taking it too far, NASA. It can't happen. It's not happening. It's not written. It's not written in the book of Enoch. If God is going to talk about the sun and the moon, I'm sure he's going to talk about how it's going to start spitting out flares and getting close to Earth. God pulls no punches. He wrote everything. Everything is written. And if we're going by half of it, I believe we should go by all of it. You want to look at your money and God we trust, but then you don't believe in God. You know, you have the satanic rulers ruling our money, but you have in God we trust on it. It's like push and pull with people. Not me, not flat earthers. So when you lock all this stuff out of your mind and start thinking again, I'm not even going to talk about keep speaking about debunking my brain. I done did that. I'm learning like a child learning something new, but at an adult age, looking at things like a child would look at and see it for what it is, not what we've been told as an adult. Because when you're told something, you're quickly to correct that child and say, no, it's this. But that child knows what that child sees. It's instant response. So that's how I have become logical looking at stuff and bringing out these videos. I have a clear mind. And people I speak to, their mind is cluttered with garbage. But I have a clearer vision of these things. I can see it better. I'm not being told anything. I can see. So, you mean to tell me at 250 miles up, you can see the International Swim Station? But you could barely see an airplane at 7 miles up? Come on now.
Dreams that travel through the dark, thank you for your tiny spark. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Time to say good night, sleep now by starlight. When the warmth of sun has gone and nothing's left to shine upon, but then you show your little lights, twinkle, twinkle through the nights. Though I know not what you are, twinkle, twinkle, little star.
The thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go.
Stay flat.